But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you.
Oh, God.
You're better than that.
Oh, God. That's right. You're right,
I
Rob.
love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son. You're my blood.
Oh.
You're the best thing in my life.
Oh, God.
But until you start believing in yourself,
Yeah?
you're gonna have a life.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, my God. Rocky Balboa, released in 2006 and is directed by Sylvester Stallone, who directed Rockies 2, 3, and 4, also The Expendables. The film stars, of course, Sylvester Stallone, Geraldine Hughes, Milo Ventimiglia, Antonio Tarver, Tony Burton, and Burt Young. It's been many years since Rocky had ended the Cold War, and now Rocky is retired from boxing and owns his own restaurant called Adrian's after his deceased wife. Yes, Adrian has passed away. Oh darn. So Rocky is basically just dealing with life and kind of a broken relationship with his son, Robert. Now they both love each other, of course, but Robert is kind of sick of living in the vast shadow of the legend of Rocky Balboa. Now one day ESPN is doing a fun computer simulated fight between Rocky in his prime and against current heavyweight champion Mason the Line Dixon, who is a despised champion because he picks easy fights to promote. In the simulation, Rocky ends up knocking out the champ, and this sparks an itch for Rocky to get back into the squared circle. He feels the need to fight again to regain the pride within himself and to exercise those inner demons that he's been living with since the passing of his beloved wife. Now, technically, this is the 6th film in the Rocky franchise, but in all actuality, this is actually the 5th film because we don't talk about Rocky V at all. I mean, really, Rocky V is never discussed because Rocky V was such a departure from the bare essence of what the Rocky character is. And since Rocky V came out, it took 16 years later for this movie to be released. People were saying this franchise is dead, let it go. And even though Rocky III and Rocky IV are still beloved today, they were kind of getting into the cheesy, campy genre. People had forgotten how much of a dramatic story and how much of a personal story the original Rocky and Rocky II were. It's a story about a bum who is lost in the world and can't seem to make sense of it. But then when opportunity comes knocking at his door, he at first rejects it, but then he starts listening to his heart and realizes that I need to make the most out of these opportunities. And this movie goes right back into those roots. At this time, Rocky is not a bum by any means. He has a good home, he has a healthy son, he has a successful restaurant business, and the city of Pittsburgh really loves and respects him. But with Adrian gone, there is just something missing from his life. He lacks passion, he lacks the drive to keep going. He's really just coasting along until he eventually kicks the bucket. And to him, Adrian had always been that passion and that drive just to live and enjoy life. Just that I never really saw her in that way for him. I've actually seen her more as a hindrance to the Rocky character than a good thing. I know, an unpopular opinion, I know, but it's what I thought. In the franchise, whenever Rocky wanted to fight, Adrian was always there to convince him not to do it or to tell him that he can't do it. She was basically forbidding the one thing that Rocky is really good at. And growing up, I always thought, and I still do, if you're going to be with someone else, you really have to compromise for each other. You really shouldn't find someone that is forcing you not to be who you are. And Rocky has been a fighter almost his entire life, and he was up front with that when he started dating Adrian. And in Rocky II, Rocky III, Rocky IV, I don't remember Rocky V at all, but in all of those movies, she tries to make him decide between fighting and her. And I think that's just a shitty thing to do. Why can't he have both? So I was actually personally happy for Rocky to find out that Adrian had passed away in this movie. But he loves her to death, so I guess that's all that really matters. And you can see the pain that Rocky is dealing with in this movie. When he's in public, he always has a smile on his face and he's always appreciative of the fans. But there is one scene that he has with Paulie in the meat locker where he just breaks down and he talks about how life wasn't supposed to be this hard. And my intro aside, I think Sylvester Stallone gets a really bad rap when it comes to his acting ability. People tend to put him in the same category like Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he basically plays a parody of himself. Go for it. Hey, yo, Paulie! Adrian! And when Sly is out of his element, he is a super awkward performer. But when he is in his element, he can break your heart. He gives a stellar dramatic performance in First Blood, and in the first two Rocky movies, his performance is so believable and relatable. And I'm happy to say that Sly recaptures the vulnerability of Rocky in this movie. And plus, Sly is a very talented director. Up to this review, I guess I never realized that he directed Rockies 2, 3, and 4. He's directed a lot. And I think one of the strengths of this movie is the directing. It recaptures the slums that we saw in the first two Rocky movies. But Sly also finds beautiful shots in the city of Pittsburgh as well. And one thing I like about him is that he is not afraid of darkness and shadows. I think shadows in a scene give a more realistic tone and feel to the movie as opposed to if everything was lit from all angles. Plus, I love the cinematography of the fight. It looks as if a real boxing match was airing on HBO. We get the video packages, we get the entrances. It looks like an actual big event fight like Mayweather and McGregor. Other standouts in this movie, it's great to see Burt Young back as Paulie. And he too is dealing with the fact that he's getting older. He is forced to retire from a job that he's been working at his entire life. He feels that he's completely lost without that place. Tony Burton returns as the trainer of Rocky, which is really cool to see. Another big standout is Geraldine Hughes in this movie. She plays an older version of the character Marie, who was a little girl in the first movie that Rocky walked home. And she acts like more of a supportive figure for Rocky than I think Adrian ever did. Where Adrian would tell Rocky that, no, you can't fight, you can't win. When Rocky is questioning taking the fight in this movie, Marie says, yeah, do it. What do you have to lose? Why not? You owe it to yourself to try. You see? That's support. And Milo Ventimiglia is, just fine as Rocky's son. I don't know, to me, he's always going to be Peter Petrelli. He'll never escape that trope for me. But he has a really interesting arc here too. He feels that he's been living off the reputation of his father his entire life, and not always by choice. He feels that he's gotten farther in college because of his father. He feels like he's gotten the job that he currently has because of his father's name. And this is a real issue for children of famous actors. When your father grows up in the public spotlight, he feels more like family to complete strangers than he does to his own son. It's a completely understandable resentment, regardless of how selfish that is. So in the end, I think Rocky Balboa is a great return to form for the Rocky franchise. The direction is great, the cinematography is beautiful, and this story, one might say, is necessary to be told. And this movie proves that Sly is a great actor when he is in his element. So I'm gonna give Rocky Balboa 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
This was only the second time that I've seen this movie, and it's a great relief to realize that, yes, this movie is good as you remember it. Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my video where I randomly select which movie I'm watching next. Let's take a look. Nightmare Before Christmas.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
I have no idea what that was, and I apologize. This is absolutely perfect timing. Thank you, random generator. Halloween is coming up, and this is a tradition that I celebrate every year with my wife. Every year, this goes into the Blu-ray player. I remember being really freaked out by this movie as a kid, but watching it now, it's just an absolute blast. So join me next time for some creepy crawly action. So everyone, have you seen Rocky Balboa? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And hey, I also want to know, what is your favorite Rocky movie? To me, nothing beats Rocky 2. Heck, we can throw Creed in there as well. And when you're done commenting, please like and subscribe to my channel so you know the next time I'm posting my next movie review. So everyone, I will see you next time with my review of Nightmare Before Christmas. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.